76% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. 76% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Is that you? I'm the CEO of 5 different companies. I wasn't born into it. We lived on welfare, but I wanted more. I created this show, The School of Wealth, helping people escape poverty like I did. I want to help you out of that consumer debt, teach you how to increase your credit score, teach you how to make more money at your current job or your current business, and then how to actually create generational wealth without changing your lifestyle. It is going to be a lot of fun. This is not like regular school. Hey, I'm Rondi Lambeth, and this is the School of Wealth.
Hello, my friends. How are you guys doing? Good afternoon. Good morning if you're watching this in the morning time. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I'm obviously not in my studio here in the place in La Jolla, California. You can see the Pacific Ocean behind me there. I don't know if you can see that. Check that out. Isn't that gorgeous? So hopefully you can hear me. Give me some thumbs up if you can hear me okay, because I can't see it on my side. It says I'm connected. Okay, Chastity says she can hear me. Awesome. So here's what I want to talk about today. I'm going to open it up for any of your questions regarding credit, taxes, investments, and crypto. So we're going to talk about crypto and credit today. Crypto and credit. Chastity's going to post in the link if you want to come on the show. Ask your questions regardless of what it is. Ask your question. We'll bring it on the show. You can ask live. You can also put your questions in as a comment. Thank you, Jenny Beal, says she can hear me. Put your question in as a comment, and I'll read those online and do my best to get to all of them. So without further ado, let's get started. So credit and crypto. All of you guys have heard about crypto, I'm sure, unless you're living under a rock. Crypto money, Bitcoin, Doge, Ether, Cardano, Polkadot, Litecoin, MILF coin. There's hundreds of different types of coin, but all of you have heard about Bitcoin. Bitcoin was created in, I believe it was 2009. I could be wrong on that, but somewhere around there, about 12 years ago. The first transaction was in 2010, and a gentleman, in fact, it was the anniversary, I believe it was yesterday, the anniversary of the first Bitcoin transaction. I believe it was yesterday or the day before, but for sure this week. He traded approximately 10,000 Bitcoin. I think it was 10,000, maybe it's 25,000 Bitcoin for 3 pizzas, equivalent of 25 bucks. They're $8 pizzas. Today, that would be worth $3 billion. $3 billion in like 10 years, 12 years, whatever it was. Because it started out was a fraction of a penny. Now, as of this morning, it was about 40,000, somewhere in there. It's up and down throughout the day. Let me see what it is right now. We'll pull up Bitcoin. I got it right here on my phone. Hit the old refresh button. Bitcoin is trading at $38,249.67. Ether's at $2,700. Tether's at $1. Cardano is $1.64. XRP is at 97 cents. But there are 752 different coins on an app, trading app called Coinbase, and there's lots of other non-traded on other ones like Gemini and Kraken and on and on. If I'm talking to where you have no idea what I'm talking about, that's okay. Hopefully by the end of today's call, you'll understand a little bit about crypto and how it ties into our monetary system and credit, because there is a lot to it, a lot of similarities between credit and crypto. I've started learning a little bit about crypto. I started becoming a little bit involved, wanting to learn about it because my girlfriend is heavily involved in blockchain, which, by the way, is different than crypto. And people, in fact, today, we had lunch with a guy, extremely successful, enough so that he's got his own jet, owns multiple different companies. We'll just call him very successful guy. And he didn't know the difference between crypto and blockchain. So there is a huge difference between crypto and blockchain. I kind of want to break that down so you guys can understand, because I've had people tell me, you know, get into crypto, get into Bitcoin. And I was just like, I poo-pooed it, right? It's like trading boogers. It made absolutely no sense whatsoever. Like, it just did not make sense. And my son, my kids, my friends, they're all telling me, get into crypto, get into blockchain, get into Bitcoin, but they couldn't explain it. Mining for coins. Like, what do you mean mining? There's no mining. You're not gold mining, digging holes. But what they've done, what I found is people like to make themselves appear or sound to be a lot smarter than they really are. And so they complicate things and they make it sound complicated. Crypto is not complicated. Blockchain is not complicated. So blockchain, think of blockchain as the internet. And essentially it is. Essentially it is the internet. It's using other people's computers, servers, they call them nodes, that's secure. Unlike the traditional internet servers, you can hack into it. And generally speaking, with nodes, that's what they call them, it's secure and it's traced, so you can track and trace everything that happens on blockchain. So if a hacker goes into Chase Bank and they hack it, or Target, or electricity facility, a power plant like they did a couple weeks ago, you can figure out exactly who it was, where they came from, if they're even able to get in. There's a company out there called Dragon Chain that uses a quantum password creator that it would take over 1 million years with our technology now to hack a password. So it's basically unhackable. And so you put in your 16-digit password, and then it creates essentially a numeric password that's 1 million digits long, if you will. And so it's almost unhackable. And as it gets more sophisticated, it gets even better and more secure. Credit bureaus 3 years ago said they're going to start moving our credit reports onto blockchain. Our banking's on that, already going on a blockchain. Our energy, our taxes, lots of things are going onto blockchain. The Biden administration, day one, Joe Biden did an executive order that's going to force all publicly traded companies to use blockchain, essentially. All publicly traded companies, not a couple of them, all of them. And they don't even know this is happening. They're not even going to release, they're not scheduled to release this to the public until September. And then they're going to have 3 months to figure it out. Okay. So let's talk about blockchain. Think about blockchain as the internet. But think about the internet. I don't know if you guys are old enough. You know, I remember when the internet first came out, when I got my very first computer. It was right before I got hired with the fire department. So it must have been 1996 to 1997, somewhere in there. So Chastity was I actually remember Chastity was in kindergarten. So my daughter Chastity was in kindergarten when we got our very first computer. And I remember plugging it in, and it made this funny noise when you would connect to the internet, and then you had a busy signal, no one could call. We didn't have cell phones at that time. So it was 1996, Chastity's in kindergarten. And I remember my brother-in-law, who was a nerd, was explaining the internet. And I'm like, what the hell is this internet thing? Like, Why would I even get involved with the internet? Like, there's nothing on there except for porn. And that's really all that we saw on the internet was porn. That was it. Now, the internet was created in the late 50s, early 60s. And the reason for the internet was created for the government to send nuclear codes. But we don't even think about that today, right? And so think about it that way. If the internet was created to send nuclear codes, look how it's changed our entire planet, the universe, really. We don't even think about the nuclear codes. We don't even really think now about porn, but porn fueled and financed the internet. Truly is what happened. Porn created all the websites and they brought in all the money. And now porn is just, it's a side effect of the internet, if you will. I don't know about you, but my entire business, my finances, it's all on the internet. I mean, right now, look at us. It's almost virtually impossible to live in America and not use the internet. In fact, it isn't possible. Yes, there are some people without the internet, but they rely on companies that do have the internet that are online, So when we talk about blockchain, think of it as a secure internet platform. And then crypto, blockchain, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Cardano, etc., is the currency. Now, most of the currencies on there do absolutely nothing. So Bitcoin, for example, it is a currency, if I remember right, when the guy that created it, and I could look it up here in this book that I'm going to talk about in a little bit with you guys, I believe they created 23 million coins, and they've lost like 4 million coins so far. So there's like 18, 19 million that are actually trading, not very many. So when you see these huge drops with Bitcoin, it was at $50,000, $60,000, then it dropped down in the 30s, which was an incredible time to buy. Still decent time to buy. But last week was incredible. That wasn't from, people selling millions and millions of coins. It really was a couple people, mainly China, manipulating the market, dropping it. And it's, thousands of coins because it's semi-unstable right now. And so think of Bitcoin is the currency on there. Blockchain is the platform. Okay. Now, Bitcoin is traded and exchanged and purchased through softwares like Ethereum. Okay. So Ethereum. So there's Bitcoin and then Ethereum, and then everything else really falls underneath them. Think of Ethereum as the software that allows you to purchase these coins, like Coinbase. Think of Coinbase like E-Trade. Okay, E-Trade, Robinhood, Charles Schwab, Merrill Lynch. Consider Coinbase as that. And so you would log into your Coinbase account, aka like E-Trade account, and you would place a bid to purchase a stock. So when you're buying the crypto, you're buying stock essentially. So when you buy Bitcoin, there is no stock really. It's just the coin. And you're buying a fraction of the coin if you're not buying the whole coin. Okay, and then you can trade it. But they're using Ethereum to do that. Now, Ethereum gets paid a percentage. They call it a gas fee. But it's essentially like what Visa does and MasterCard and Discover. So there's a platform. So there's Visa. So when you go into a store, and let's say you're going to go in the store and you're going to buy some Apple AirPods at the Apple store, and you take out your credit card and they swipe it or you insert it, that's going to their merchant processor. The merchant processor then reaches out to Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discover, processes it, and then reaches out to the bank, make sure there's money in there, the credit card company. If it's a debit card, then the actual bank. charges it, and then transfers it to Apple. Okay, so there's a middleman in there. That's the processor. That middleman then takes the money from your credit card or checking account, pays the credit card company, Visa, American Express, Discover, MasterCard, because they get a percentage, and then pays the merchant. Does that make sense? Give me some thumbs up if that's making sense, guys. That the merchant processor is the middleman. So like with me, I have multiple merchant accounts. So we have like EMS, we have PayArc. Give me some thumbs up if that's making sense. So when a client pays me, we process it through our merchant account, which then processes it through the bank and pays Visa, American Express, and MasterCard. And for doing that, they charge me a fee. We'll call it 3%. So if I'm going to charge you $100, I'm going to pay my merchant processor 3% for being the middleman. Visa gets half, the merchant company gets the other half. Does that make sense? Like someone just said, Edna just said, kind of like Amazon. They're the middleman, right? They're the real estate agent in the middle. They're the mortgage broker in the middle. They're the middleman. In the credit world, it's the processor. So when you go to pull your credit, when you go into a mortgage company or a bank, the bank doesn't reach out to Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. The bank will go to NCO. They'll go to CoreLogic. It's the middleman, and they go out to the other ones. Okay, I'm going to tie this in now. Ethereum is that middleman. So you're at home on your computer. You want to buy some Bitcoin. You go to Coinbase. You put in your order. Coinbase is going to use Ethereum to purchase Bitcoin from a secure server or computer. And they got that Bitcoin because they mined it. They're not out there digging holes, looking for rocks and busting up the rocks and refining it. They're not mining it like traditional mining. What that means is they're going out and they're getting it and they're putting it in their computer and then they sell it through Ethereum. Ethereum then charges Coinbase. Coinbase charges you. They then deposit Bitcoin into your wallet or your account. Does that make sense, what Ethereum does there? Give me some thumbs up if that makes sense, because I need to know. Okay, Matthew says yes on YouTube. Awesome, thank you. So Ethereum also sells coins. So Bitcoin doesn't do any software. It's just the coin. It's the currency. Ethereum is the software and they sell coins. Think of the Ethereum coin is shares in that company. So if you wanted to buy some Apple stock, you go to E-Trade, you submit your trade, you get a portion of Apple. You now own a portion of Apple, and then Apple has products like this or the computer that I'm on. Okay, think of this as Ethereum coin, and Ethereum's the software. Does that make sense so far? Give me some thumbs up if that makes sense where I'm at. Ethereum is the software, but Ethereum sells products or shares like Ethereum coin, and you can buy it. Okay. Then we have other softwares like my favorite, Cardano, or otherwise known as ADA. Eduardo just asked about it. What do I know about ADA? That's my favorite. That's where I have 99 point something percent of all my money is in that one type of crypto. Partially because I have a little bit of information of what's going on that the public doesn't know. It's not really insider information. It's just information about what they're doing. Okay? Cardano, and don't hold me to exact numbers on this. So this is just for sake of illustration and education and entertainment. Cardano is essentially 42 times faster than Ethereum and 90% cheaper. So remember when I said they have what's called gas fees or processing fees? So when you're on Coinbase and you want to buy some Bitcoin and it goes through Ethereum, well, if Coinbase was using Cardano, it would process 40 times faster and 90% cheaper. So instead of costing, we'll say $1 for that transaction of purchasing Bitcoin, it would cost you 10 cents. And instead of it taking 1 second to process, it could take a fraction of a second to process. Now, why does that matter? Because the prices do this constantly, up and down, up and down, up and down. In fact, when you go in and buy it, you will literally lock in the price and hit submit, and it's like price changed. And if it goes up, you got to start over. And then you do it again, hit submit, it goes up, you got to start over because Ethereum's too slow, which is why they have what's called Ethereum 2. All right. Is that making sense? Ethereum is the platform, but Ethereum has coins, kind of like Apple is the platform, but Apple sells products. And with Cardano, ADA, Cardano has the platform, and you're buying stocks, essentially coins, ADA coins in there. Does that all make sense? So we have blockchain, which is really a secure internet that tracks and trades and traces. And then we have the coin like Bitcoin, Cardano, Ethereum. Some Jim Jones says StormX. And there's all kinds. There's thousands of them. Most of them won't be around. They won't be around at all. Most of them. I think Cardano, it's a race really right now between Ethereum, Cardano, and Polkadot. Now, here's some interesting information about those three. Ethereum was created by 4 dudes. One is still there. 3 of them left. So Ethereum, which is what everything's traded on right now, 4 dudes created it. One is still there. Gavin left. Gavin created a little company called Polkadot. Okay. Charles left. Was another founder of Ethereum. Created a little company called Cardano. And then I have no idea what happened to the third guy. We don't know. He just disappeared, took his billions, and left. So 3 of the 4 people that started Ethereum left. 2 of them started competing softwares. So right now it's a race between Ethereum, Cardano, and Polkadot to see what software can get the most amount of business. And whoever gets the most amount wins. When I'm talking about the most amount of business, I'm talking about companies that will use their software, their blockchain software, to do transactions. So for example, if Cardano can go in and get Experian to come over, that'd be huge for them. But Polkadot wants Experian and Ethereum wants Experian. Remember, Cardano is 90% cheaper, 40 times faster. Is that making sense? So I believe Cardano, ADA coin, is the coin to invest in. I think for the long term. Okay. Back in January, it was pennies. Now it's trading as of this a little bit ago is like $1.60. A week or 2 ago is up to $2.45, $2.60. And I personally believe by the end of the year it'll be $10. We'll see. I think what they're going to announce in August and September will make it $10 because they got a lot. But it is a race to see who can get to market, not even market because they're already at market, but it's a race to see who can get the most amount of businesses to get on board. Remember I said that in September, the government's going to release a paper stating. So in January, when Biden did one of his executive orders, it's inside there. Similar to TSR, which is a telephone sales resolution or telephone sales restriction or something like that. But it's a It is a law that was created for telemarketers. And at the very last minute, some lobbyist said, throw credit repair in there. And so they're like, all of these business, and then, oh, by the way, credit repair. And they literally just wrote like a half a sentence. And so credit repair got stuck inside TSR. And it's pretty damaging if you're a credit repair company if you do telemarketing. And basically it states that if you cold call someone, you cannot charge them for credit repair, is essentially what it says. When you read the fine print, that's what it breaks down to. And that's why you don't have companies cold calling for credit repair. Because see, I can buy a list from Experian. Gives me every single person in America with bad credit. I could cold call them. But essentially, if I did that, I would be breaking the law if I ever charged that client. And so there are companies that do it, but they're fly by night and they're gone. Okay. Crypto now. So we understand what blockchain is. We understand the big players. And there, like I said, there's thousands of them out there. One was created a few weeks ago called MILF, and it went absolutely crazy. Doge. You know, Elon Musk, one of the smartest men on the planet, was asked, hey, what's so great about Doge? He's like, well, it's got a dog in the logo. Literally, he said something about that fact. What's great about Doge is it's got a dog. Can you imagine someone investing because it has a dog in the logo? Yet people are doing this because it's a dopamine hit. When you see that you bought something for a penny and now it's worth $100, and then it's $1,000, and then it's 10,000, and then it's 60,000, that's a huge dopamine hit, right? And you're watching that thing all day long. And so people are just making up coins just to get rich, and they're getting extremely wealthy. I bet you Elon Musk and Mark Cuban's net worth is doubled, if not tripled, in a year through investing through crypto, because they can get on Twitter, make a couple comments. Nobody knows how much crypto they got. Make a couple comments and it goes through the roof, like Doge did. So that is crypto. Now, if you want to understand how it works and why it's here forever, I want you to get this book. Can you see that? The Bitcoin Standard. Give me some thumbs up if you can see this book. Eduardo says, I believe Charles is smarter than Gavin. I think so. Is it Gavin? Vitalik? XRP. You know, if XRP makes it, if they can get through their lawsuit, cool. You know, if he makes it, I don't know. All right, so you guys see that. The Bitcoin Standard. I'm going to hold it up there again. I want each and every one of you, if you want to understand crypto, why it's here forever, why it is not going away, you get this book. I am now 119 pages in of a 300-page book, roughly 300, 280. It's got a whole bunch of stuff. It's 272 pages. So I'm 119 pages of 272. I'm finally understanding it. I can tell you this. I posted this on Instagram not too long ago, a few days ago, and that was, there's very few things I regret in my life. Very few things. Not reading this 4 years ago when it first came out is a regret of mine. It is a regret. And you probably never, ever heard me say I regret not doing something. This is something I regret not reading because I didn't understand it. They were making, all of these nerds were making it so freaking complicated as like, it sounds like trading boogers for boogers. It doesn't make sense. Crypto's the new thing. It's decentralized money. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, it's still based on the US dollar. I didn't understand what it was. So far, 119 pages out of the 280 has not, except for the very first couple pages when it was talking about Bitcoin being created in 2009 or whatever it is. And then the guy buying pizzas, 3 pizzas for 25,000 coins, which are 50,000 a piece, which right now would be worth about $3 billion. That's about the only thing he talked about crypto in there so far. He's going to get into it later, is what I'm told. But get the book. Again, Bitcoin Standard. I think you've seen it enough now to know what you should get. Bitcoin Standard talks about it. So what's it talking about? This whole book. It's talking about money. If you look here, see this this rock right there? There was an actual civilization that used these rocks as money. And then we have gold, which every country, for the most part, up until 1914, used gold as the standard. Every country except for Switzerland used gold as their standard until 1914, civilized, developed countries. And in 1914, we all went off the gold standard except for Switzerland, which went off in 1930s. And now we got Bitcoin as the standard of money. So what makes Bitcoin so valuable? What makes Bitcoin so valuable is there's only 23 million coins. Only 18, 19 of them still in circulation because the rest have been lost. There's stories of the guys that have lost them in a thumb drive, accidentally threw it away. People die. And that's the disadvantage, is there's no banks that you can store it in yet, but it's coming. Wyoming, they're called Spidey banks. They got the first charter, just got created. It's going to be a bank that you're allowed to deposit your crypto into, and then the bank holds it, just like a regular bank, just like US dollars. They're going to hold it on the blockchain so it's secure, so hackers can't get into it. When you need it, you can withdraw it, just like a Visa debit card, you can purchase with it. Okay? Just like regular banks. They're called Spidey banks. One right now. I think they have two, but we know the person that got the first charter in Wyoming. It's like special purpose something, but Spidey's. Okay. So what the book talks about is what money really is. So go back prior to gold. Civilizations used seashells. They used beads. The Native American Indians used beads. This other civilization used these big old rocks. Some people have used cattle. Back in the Bible, there was coins. Cattle was used, especially with dowries. If you were going to want to marry someone's daughter, you would give them so many cattle, some sheep, some goats, etc. Gold, silver. The problem with gold is it's very heavy. It's very dense. And if you don't have any gold, I recommend that you buy some. Go buy a couple silver coins and buy a little bit of gold. You can buy gold for $50, and just feel it. Go into a pawn shop that actually sells gold coins. Feel how dense it is. But here's the thing with gold. It's virtually indestructible. You can't burn it, can't freeze it, can't break it, can't smash it. Virtually indestructible. Why is that? Because it's not from Earth. Gold's from outer space. They believed that there was a planet, several planets collided, exploded, and when those minerals mixed, it blew up and it created gold. And then that gold went and it hit the Earth, and millions of meteorites hit the Earth and coated the entire planet with gold. And that's why they're in veins. The amount of gold in circulation today is almost virtually exact same amount as 1,000 years ago, as 10,000 years ago, as 100,000 years ago. Because for the most part, gold cannot be destroyed. Whereas silver, copper, aluminum, nickel, palladium, and all the other stuff can be destroyed and used up. Gold cannot. And so gold is the perfect money. It's a limited supply. It's extremely hard to get to, very expensive, and indestructible. And so that's why gold has been the standard for our money for thousands and thousands of years, up until 1914. What happened in 1914? They put us on the credit system where banks could create money out of thin air. Look how much money Joe Biden has created in, what's this, May, 120 days? Trillions. Do you know that 33% of all the money, of all of the US dollar in the entire world, over 33% of it was created in the last 10 months? All the world money of the US dollar. Think about that. We have our country 200 plus years old. In the last 10 months, we've created over 30% of the US dollar. It's just print. It's not even print, it's all digital, right? They don't even print it. They send an email essentially through the internet, which is not secure, but it will be through blockchain. And they create the money out of thin air. They give it to the banks, and then the banks lend it to us. And because we're now on the credit game, on fiat, there's no going back. We cannot go back to the gold standard. It is impossible. That ship has sailed, if you will. We can't go back. We never will go back, because nothing will work if we go to the gold standard. Why does the government keep printing all this money? It's not because they're reckless. You could say they're reckless, but what they're doing is we owe so much money to other countries by the US Federal Reserve, by the central banking system, creating new money. It makes the money that we owe other people less. So for example, from so I gotta go back 12 years. So 1972 to 1984, a $1 bill. So in 1972, you would buy $1 worth of products. In 1984, you buy the same dollar would buy you 4 cents of products. 4 cents. So it lost 96% of its value in 12 years. And this is why you will hear me say, savers are losers and debtors are winners if you use debt the right way. Savers are losers, debtors are winners if you use debt the right way. See, in 1972, if you put $1 million in the bank account, $1 million in the bank in 1972, 1984, it'd be worth $40,000. Think about that. $40,000. You were a millionaire in 1972. You put it in the bank where it's safe and secure, and it makes you feel good because you log in, you see your balance. In 1984, it's essentially worth $40,000. Yes, you still got $1 million, but it will only buy essentially $40,000 of products because we're no longer on the gold standard. Now we bring in crypto, Bitcoin. It's limited, it's extremely hard to get to, and everyone can have it. And everybody can carry it around on a fob. It can be traded online. It is a store of value. So if you have $100 in your bank account, instead of leaving it in the bank and you buy Cardano, for example, ADA, or you buy Bitcoin or Polkadot or something else, it's storing your value. So tomorrow it's worth more money. Next week it's worth more. The following year it's worth more. Now, yes, it is volatile right now, but that's the government trying to manipulate it so they can get in and buy as much as they want. The banks are buying as much as they can possibly buy. See, they want to buy it all up so you and I can't get it. There's none left. They hold it all. And I truly believe what will eventually happen is instead of having it in gold or in addition to gold, a bank will say, we have $1 billion in Bitcoin. That's our reserve. Companies now on their balance sheet will have Bitcoin listed as an asset on their balance sheet. Companies are buying this stuff left and right. They're buying up as much as they can possibly buy. And that's why this market's doing this. Plus the Chinese are going in there and messing with it. Okay. Because the coronavirus didn't destroy us. So now they're trying to do it through buying up the Bitcoin and dumping it and doing all the stuff through Tether, which is another medium exchange similar to Coinbase that the Chinese are controlling. Okay. Does all of that make sense? See, the more money they issue, the more credit they send out there, the less our money's worth, which makes us into losers if we have a bunch in our savings account. Which is why, if you can go out right now and you can purchase a home, and a lot of the people that hire me for credit repair, they want to buy a home. I mean, it's American dream to buy a home, right? If you can buy a house, and let's say it's $300,000 at 3% money, inflation right now, the government's lying to us. The government says our inflation's 2%. Complete lie. Complete straight face lie. It's closer to 10 to 15%. Look at plywood. Used to be $15, now it's $98 for one sheet of plywood. Look at metal. Look at gas. Right? Inflation is out of control because they're printing money so fast. Why? Because it lowers the debt that the government has to pay back, that $28 trillion or whatever the hell it is right now. You can't even keep up with it. So by inflating or by printing money, creating money, it causes massive inflation, which then lowers how much we have to pay back. Okay? And so Bitcoin is going to fight that. Cardano is going to fight that essentially. Okay? Does that make sense, guys? So don't get hung up on the mining. I got to mine for coins, and it's all nonsense. It's just gibberish. We got to go out and get the coin and put it on the server and then sell it through an exchange like Coinbase, Gemini, Kraken, or whatever. Okay. And then we have the softwares. We have Polkadot, Cardano, Ethereum that's trading the softwares. They're in a rush right now, a race to see who can get the most amount of companies on board. For example, Mark Cuban got in a Twitter conversation with Charles, and Charles was saying, hey, come out to my ranch. And Mark's like, I'm not going to go out there. And he's like, well, I just wanted to have a conversation. But since you won't have a conversation, let me tell you in this video what Cardano does. And guess what? Mark Cuban now is using Cardano to process payments for the Mavericks. We got another thing with Tesla. No longer going to take Bitcoin. Why? Because it uses coal energy to process, right? Through Ethereum, which is extremely expensive. What's he teeing up? I believe he's teeing up to be Polkadot or Cardano because they're very effective. They're extremely fast. They're cheap. They're energy efficient. And all of a sudden he's probably purchasing a bunch of it. When it crashed, he bought up a whole bunch of it. Then he's going to make an announcement. Hey, we're going to use Cardano. We're going to use Polkadot now for our trading. No longer going to use Bitcoin. So people that have Bitcoin, they want to buy a Tesla, they'll go to Coinbase, they'll trade their Bitcoin for Cardano, then they go to Tesla and they give Tesla their Cardano coin. Okay? Everybody in the world will accept some type of Bitcoin at some point. And you might trade your Bitcoin for Cardano or Ethereum or something else. Think of Bitcoin as gold. It's extremely valuable, very heavy, right? You can't get rid of it. And then you got all of these other coins. You got Polkadot, Cardano, Ethereum, Light, XRP, MILF, Doge. Think of those as different metals. So like Cardano would be like your silver, right? It's not as valuable as gold, but it's still pretty good. Silver. And then you got your Doge, which is like copper, or the most prominent mineral on the planet, or metal, which is aluminum. Think of Doge as the aluminum, or even worse. Right? I don't know, what's worse than aluminum? What's cheaper than aluminum and it doesn't last very long? That's going to be like your cheap stuff. Okay. And then you use the cheap stuff, your silvers, your coppers, your bronze, your cheap metals to do your groceries, your mortgages, your cars, etc. And the Bitcoin is your gold that you trade little pieces of gold for the other coins. Does that make sense, guys? All right, let's open it up for questions again. Edna says, crypto and taxes. Man, the government's trying hard to figure out how they're going to tax on it. Right now, again, I'm not a tax professional, so you guys got to talk to your tax professional on it. It is taxable, your gains. I don't know how they're going to keep track of it. I really don't. I don't know if it's going to be on an honor system. I mean, what if you bought Bitcoin in 2009, 2018? It's not on a banking system. It's not registered anywhere. You didn't put in your social security number. You just bought it. Now you got this code. I don't know. I think it's going to kind of be like the cash thing where you pay me in coin, I pocket it, and I don't put it on my tax return. There's, lots of tax cheats out there. So it'll be interesting to see how they figure that out. I think that the government's finally figured out, like, this is the real deal. It's going to be around for a while. So, all right, let's open up for questions. If you guys got questions on that at all, let me know. Credit, taxes, investments, crypto. What do you got? I think Ashley says ADA, which is Cardano. ADA is the coin. I think it will. That's why I'm saying I have 90%. I'm trying to think how much money I have in Cardano versus Bit and Ethereum. It's probably 85% is in Cardano. The other one's over there. I think it's here to last. Man, I don't know about Polygon. I think it's one of those bronze coins, the copper coins. Maybe it hits. I do know this. If you have the time to sit and day trade and you can get on a platform that you can trade fairly inexpensive, and you can make a ton of money trading crypto all day long. I mean, if you watch it, go to coinbase.com. You can get, you pull it up. Since I've been talking, so Bitcoin was at 38,249. It is now at 238,307. It's up $100. Cardano's at $1.64. I mean, it literally does this all day long. And so if you can time it right, which I'm not a trader. That's not my thing. I put my money in. It is my store of wealth. And I think in the long term, it's going to be worth a lot more than I got now. And I don't plan on taking it out. I will take out my original investment and leave the rest of it in there. And then I'll reinvest some of my original investment. And when I hit my money again, I'll pull it out. No one ever went broke pulling out profit. They only went broke leaving it all in there. So can you get loans to buy crypto? Thanks for asking that, Yesenia. Yes, there is ability to do that. I personally do not recommend using credit to purchase crypto. That's just my personal thing. For me, I couldn't sleep at night, and I literally, when I lay down at night, I close my eyes, and within seconds, I'm completely asleep. And then I wake up 8 hours later. I rarely lay in bed awake, and I rarely wake up. I close my eyes. I like that. If I bought crypto on credit and speculated, I don't like gambling. I will take risks, calculated risk, but I don't gamble. So I personally wouldn't do it, but yes, you can do it. There are websites that stake your tether. They give you 15% APR. Yeah, there are. So what does that mean? Say you got $10,000 in crypto, they'll pay you interest on that crypto as well. And there's a lot of stuff. I just personally don't participate in that. I say get this book. Whoop, there it is. Bitcoin Standard. Buy this book. Learn about it. You do you. I know people that I had lunch with this guy today. He put $10,000 or $20,000 in. A week later, it was worth $100,000. He pulled his $100,000 out and put it all somewhere else, and now it's just up it goes. Right? Edwin's question. It says, "What do you think about real estate market in Utah? It will crash?" ? Sorry about the real estate crash. No, don't be sorry about it. I love that question. Thank you. Here's the thing. Real estate is expensive, correct? Compared to what? I didn't freeze. I want the answer. Real estate, people say real estate is expensive. Let me ask you, is real estate expensive? Compared to what? Compared to the price of gold? No, it's cheaper. Compared to oil? Nope, it's cheaper. Compared to lumber? Nope, it's cheaper. Compared to Bitcoin? Nope, it's cheaper. What am I talking about? If you looked at the cost of real estate today and the cost of oil today, and you went back 30 years, and for example, just illustration, do not fact check me on this because I don't know the numbers. You asked a question. If I'm going to do a whole presentation on this, I'd look up the numbers. In fact, I saw a presentation on this and I'm borrowing it from him. If you want to watch his presentation, it is, let me look up his name. I want you guys to watch this video, by the way. So I'm going to go to YouTube. I forgot his name just now because I'm sitting here talking to you guys. And I'm looking on YouTube. Jason, I just remembered it. Jason Hartman. Jason Hartman. Put that in there, Chastity. Jason Hartman. I think that's it. Jason Hartman. He's in a group with me called Board of Advisors, Mastermind. Jason Hartman. Real estate is expensive compared to what? He's the expert. Okay. Jason Hartman. Go to YouTube. Jason Hartman, real estate expensive compared to what? So back 30 years ago, house was $100,000. A barrel of oil was $100. It would take 1,000, right? Or 10, I don't know, what's that? Sometimes I'm really good at math unless I'm talking. It's kind of like me talking and reading doesn't work very well. So it's $100,000 divided by 100. So 1,000 barrels of oil. So 30 years ago, the house is $100,000. Barrel of oil is 100. It would take 1,000 barrels of oil to purchase that house. Fast forward, house is $300,000, but now only takes 300 barrels of oil because oil has gone up this much, house has gone up that much. So when I say real estate is expensive compared to what, that's what I'm talking about. Everything else is going up where real estate's slowly going up. Now, in the last few years, it's gone crazy. Utah is bananas. My realtor right now is texting me because I'm putting an offer in on a house here. As soon as I hang up with you guys, I'm putting in an offer. They bought it 4 years ago for 25% roughly of what they have it listed for sale. It has gone up 400% in 4 years. That's crazy. Most of Boise, Idaho is 30% a year. 30%. This one went up 100%. Now, they put hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars into this home in appliances and remodeling and flooring and security. And I mean, they went bananas, right? So real estate's expensive compared to what? Do I think the market's going to crash? I don't think it's going to crash. I would follow Jason Hartman because he's in real estate. I mean, that's his deal. I'm a passive investor in apartment complexes. I don't have any. I have zero. Well, that's not true. I got one single family home in Florida that I've owned for 6 years. One. All the rest, I'm out of single family. Hopefully by July, I'll have 2 single families. And all the rest of my real estate is apartment complexes, which is not going to crash, by the way. I don't think it's going to crash. I think it will dip, and maybe it'll be a 10 or 20% dip. That's why I would recommend if you're going to get into a home, it is a home that you are willing to pay for a while at 20% loss. But money is so freaking cheap. I mean, I'm looking at my loan from my VA. I literally can move into this home, zero out of pocket at 2.8% interest, which is a fraction, like 25% of what's going on with inflation. So fast forward 30 years from now, my payment will be a tenth of my monthly income. Okay, so I don't think it'll crash. I think it might dip, but who knows? All right, let's see here. Yesenia, I love the fact that you ordered the book on Amazon. I would highly recommend you get the hardcover. I wish I would have said that earlier. Amazon's great. Audible's great. It is a book you're going to want to reread the paragraphs over and over and over again. I read extremely fast. I can tell you with my 75 hard I'm doing for my 10 pages takes me about 30 to 40 minutes to read 10 pages, where that normally would take me 7 to 8 minutes. And partly because I'm really trying to remember the stuff, so I can talk about it in a halfway educated way. So I would highly recommend that you get the hard copy of the book. Joey Western, can you speak to taking loans off your Bitcoin asset? You know, Joey, I know someone else is popping in here. Ashley. Ashley's been doing Bitcoin crypto for a long time. So here's what he says. Qcoin gives you 20% on your Tether. Hey, babe, isn't Tether the Chinese company? Tether's what? Yeah, Tether's the one that's got issues. Yeah. So I know you can. I personally don't do that. You read this, you go and find one of my friends on Instagram is King Credit. So Janowski, he was also on my podcast. So if you go to my podcast, School of Wealth, you can hear about King Credit when he does. That's where I started learning about crypto is through Jan. He's got a course and it's like $1,000 or something. He breaks it all down. He used to be in the crypto world as in a programmer. Now he's a day trader making mind-boggling money day trading crypto. So he teaches you how to day trade, teaches you how to get the loans, teaches you how to get the credit to do it. Jan would be the person. Go to my website, rondilambert.com, and click on podcasts and scroll down to Jan's podcast and you can hear all about it. And you can actually click on the link to purchase his program. So Jan would be the way to go. Let's see. Do I have any other questions? I don't see any. Oh, John Carter said, what's John says? John from Canada, had to fight with the bank to release my money to buy crypto. Yeah. You know, when I bought Cardano, this has been a few months ago, I had to wire money out of the United States to a bank I'd never heard of, to a European country I'd never heard of. And I got to tell you, it was pretty scary because I sent a lot of money. It was scary. Fortunately, they actually showed up. Now you can buy Cardano on Coinbase, but there are a lot of these pseudo coins, the copper coins, if you will, that you got to wire your money overseas to do it, or you got to set up accounts with this company, and then you got to buy Ethereum and then trade it for this company, then buy this one. It's whatever it is. I don't recommend doing that. So, all right. So Ashley says, yep, Tether has issues. USDC through as safe as it gets when it comes to stable coins, and the interest rate are around 12.5%. Yeah. Yeah. So Ashley, follow him on Instagram. He's posting all the time about crypto. Follow him, follow Jan, King Credit, and then check out my podcast, the episode on my podcast with Jan, where I was talking about crypto, and that was probably 6 months ago. So, okay. All right. I think that's it. So unless you guys have other questions, it's been right at 59 minutes. I am going to Take off. Here's a good question, Robert. Thank you. Is crypto causing the dollar to weaken? No. No, crypto has nothing to do with inflation, nothing to do with the dollar. In my opinion, and what I'm reading in this book, it's nothing to do with that whatsoever. You know, gold, silver does not cause gold to be worth more. Gold is gold. Bitcoin, Bitcoin. I think what you're seeing is inflation. Inflation. Joe Biden, through his partners at the central banks, the Federal Reserve, they're causing the dollar to be worth less on purpose so we don't have to pay China back as much. Do I think China will overtake the US as in military? Not a chance. Not a chance in a million years. If you want to know why, there's a book called Accidental Superpower. Incredible book. Accidental Superpower. It will explain why the United States is the most powerful country on the planet, will continue to be the most powerful country on the planet forever, as long as we don't destroy it from the inside. We are protected from the outside. There's no way to destroy the United States from the outside. It will only be destroyed from the inside. So I know AOC and Biden would love to destroy the United States. So we just got to fight them and make sure they don't. Credit card question. I have 3 credit cards in my wallet. Amex Gold, Amex Platinum, Discover. Which one do you think I'm missing and must have? I would say it depends on what you want to do. If you are into cash back, it would be the Chase Freedom Card. Let me show you. I don't think my numbers, yeah, my numbers on the front. So hold on a second. That's a great card, the Chase Freedom Card. I don't know if you can see that. Oop. Yeah, I can't really see it. But anyway, it's a blue Chase Freedom Card. It's Visa, 2% unlimited cash back. I think that's the best cash back card. As far as travel, that by far is the best travel card out there. Capital One Venture Card. The problem with having American Express, Edwin, 2 Amexes and 1 Discover is many merchants, like for example, we don't accept Discover because legally we don't accept Discover at Fortress because a bank, Discover will not let a credit related company process Discover through that merchant account. Remember I talked about that middleman? Discover won't let us. So I would have a Visa somewhere in there in case they don't accept American Express or Discover. I'd go with a Visa. And you can't go wrong with getting one more card. If you can evade taxes through crypto, do you think the government will ban it, or they'll find more creative ways to tax? I think they're gonna tax you. I don't think there's a way to ban it. It is too big, too far along. You can't stop it. It is already out there. You are not going to be able to stop it. And here's why. It's decentralized. It's not part of the government. See, it allows you, think about it this way. Ashley, where are you at? You're in India, are you not? I think that's where you're at, is India. Let me know where you're at. We're gonna wait. Chastity, put it up when he says where he's living. I think it's India. But anyway, so if he's in a different country, and pretty much every country that you travel in will take the US. Yeah, India. That's what I thought. So you use is it rupees in India? I'm gonna show my ignorance here. Rupees? Yep, in India. So if you wanted to buy something from me, say you wanted to buy one of my books, or you want to buy my course on how to drive a Ferrari for the cost of a Toyota Camry, and you're going to pay me in rupees, what the hell am I supposed to do with that? Like, I can't go down to US Bank and deposit rupees. Right? You would pay me in US dollars, right? Because I can pay you in US dollars. You can use US dollars for the most part, but I can't use your money. Bitcoin, anywhere in the world. Cardano went in to Africa. Hey, babe, was it 33 million or 3 million? Okay. Cardano went into Africa and found that Africans, they have no shoes, they have no bank accounts, they have no floors, they're sleeping in huts with dirt, but they need money. They need an exchange of value. So they brought Cardano in. 3 million people are now using Cardano to trade with each other, to buy goats and cows and hatchets, spears, whatever, clothing, maybe buying some shoes, because they didn't have any money, they didn't have bank accounts. Next month, or the next time, they're going to have 6 million. So then there'll be 9 million people in Africa with Cardano ADA coins that they can exchange with each other. So Ashley, you're in India, I'm in San Diego, Jan is in Dubai. You pay me in Bitcoin, I pay Jan in Dubai in Bitcoin. It's not going anywhere. Okay. Crypto's here forever. It'll never go away. And as time goes on, Bitcoin will only go up in value. And here's why. When people die, they lose their coins. Not because it has anything to do with death. It's just, it's on a thumb drive and they die and nobody knows what the password is to it. And that's why these Spidey banks in Wyoming are so important, is because you can put it in there and then your family can get it, okay? I have 3 credit cards. I say FICO likes to see that. What utilization rate should I adopt to start pushing my credit scores up? It depends. It depends. If you're trying to have the highest possible credit score, 1 to 5%. So I adjusted that a little bit. For a long time, I was telling people 10% and they were going over that. So I'm going to give you a little buffer. 1 to 5%. 1 to 5. So you got $1,000 credit limit. Don't spend more than $10 to $50. Go over $50, score is going to go down by 5 points for every $50 you spend on that $1,000 card, or 5%, you're going to lose 5 points. Max out a credit card, lost 100 points. Okay. Think about it this way. When you got in your car today, if you went and got in a car, did the car care how much gas was in the tank as long as there was enough gas to get you where you're going? Does the car care if it's a quarter tank, a half tank, or a full tank? Does the car care? No, it doesn't matter. Now, if you were going to drive from San Diego to San Francisco, would you care if you had a full tank and there's no gas stations in between? They're all out of gas, like we saw a couple weeks ago on the East Coast. Would it matter at that point if you had a full tank or a quarter tank? Yes, it would make a huge difference, right? Your credit score is exactly the same. If you are not going to use your credit to get more credit, credit cards, loans, mortgage, etc., it doesn't matter what your credit score is. Doesn't matter if it's 300, doesn't matter if it's 800. Doesn't freaking matter. It only matters when you're going to apply for new credit. Does that make sense? So when you ask me what utilization rate, it doesn't matter. It only matters if you're going to apply for new credit. If you're not going to apply for new credit, max them out and get as many points as you possibly can. It does not matter. I don't care if you got a 600 for 3 months in a row. FICO doesn't say, hey, you've had a 300 or 600 for 3 months. Bam, you're punished. They don't care. The moment you pay off the credit cards, get it between the 1% and 5%, score goes back up to 800. Does that make sense? FICO doesn't care. Nobody cares what your credit score is during that time that you're just going from here to there. It's only when you're going to apply for new credit that matters. If you want to have great credit because you're applying, 1 to 5%. Why 1%? If you have 0, you're going to get punished because you're not utilizing the cards. FICO thinks they're closed, extremely dangerous, so FICO punishes you. You got to use 1% a month, every single month. Best banks to open a business account. It depends on what you're looking for. Best banks, I don't know. Depends. If you're in California, there's a company, Let me look it up right now for you guys. It is Bank of, let's see, it's Bank of Fresno, I think. Let's see. Yep. Fresno First. Fresno, like the city of Fresno. Fresno First Bank is offering $100,000 lines of credit for anyone who deposits at least $50,000 in 1 month into their account. Not deposit as in the savings account. Has 50,000 go into the account, 50,000 goes out of the account, 50,000 goes in, 50,000 goes out. They'll give you $100,000 line of credit. That's it. Fresno First. So when you say what's the best bank, it depends. I think small regional banks are the best. Fresno First is a small regional bank. Wells Fargo, not so much. Bank of America, no. Chase, no. Citi, no. Small regional banks are best. When am I coming to Atlanta? I think I'm flying through Atlanta. I don't know, Diapolis. I don't have anything on the schedule to come to Atlanta. I know August, I'm already booked 3 weeks out of the 4. Sawyer's doing awesome. Sawyer's fat and happy and fluffy here in San Diego, loving it. But I don't have any plans to go to, I don't have any plans. I will be in Tampa, Clearwater next week, Chicago next week, a couple days later, Clearwater, a couple days after that, Park City. But Atlanta, probably in September, after BA. That'd probably be a good time because it's so hot. Okay, let's see here. Ashley says the credit card options here in India. Oh, shit, yeah. Is there any way I can get American credit card? Yes, there is a way to get American credit card through a business account. So if you had a business registered here in the United States doing business in the United States, you can get a credit card. So you'd have to do a established business. I've done that lots of times for Canadians. Lots and lots of times for Canadians. I'm assuming I can do the same thing for Indians. You know, I don't see why not. I know lots of people from China that are residents of China, communists. You know, they're communists, but they have credit cards here in the States through their business. So I'm sure you could do it. You would just have to start a business here in the States, appoint somebody, or come to the States. So good reason to come here. Diaphilus, I'm going to call you here in a little bit because I want to talk to you about your finance guy for your tax resolution. If you guys are on here right now and you have tax problems, go to rondilambert.com, click on podcast, and listen to the podcast with Diaphilus and I, and John, Chris Adora, his partner, on tax resolution. These guys are freaking genius. They'll go in, say you owe the IRS $500,000. They're like, hey, how about 5,000? The IRS is like, sign me up. Yes, please give us 5,000. We'll wipe out 495,000. These guys are geniuses when it comes to resolving your tax problems because it ain't never going to go away. Yesenia says, yeah, she's in Fresno. You're correct regarding Fresno First Bank. Yeah. Put 50,000 in, they give you a $100,000 line of credit. If you were going to move from Idaho, where would you go and why? What city? That's a really good question. In fact, it's something that I've been thinking about a lot. I think it would probably be somewhere in Florida, in the Tampa area. I think is where it would be. Orlando is too crazy. Miami's too busy. Sarasota's too slow. Seems like Tampa would be a good place. California is great as far as weather, but that's it. The tax is going up to 18%. It's everywhere I go here, you still got to wear a stupid mask, which I refuse to do. I believe in the Martin Luther King philosophy. It is our duty to revolt, ignore laws that are unjust, unconstitutional, and forcing me to wear a mask, in my opinion, violates my rights and is unjust. And I just refuse to do it, with exception to an airplane, because they can kick you off the airplane forever because it is their airplane. They want to kick me out of a restaurant. or Vons. I was at Vons yesterday, and some fat lady in a walker accosted me because I have a mask on. She wanted to kick me out of Vons, fine. But Delta Airlines kicked me off. I'll wear the stupid mask if it's going to make them not kick me off the plane. So Matthew says, if I purchase something with my personal credit card for my business, can I still write it off? Absolutely, 100%. Yes, 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 and yes. This must be done, though. Separate it. So these cards that I'm showing you, most of the cards that I use for my business because of the points are personal cards, with the exception of my American Express that gives me 1%, but my Capital One's personal gives me 2%. And most of my cards are personal credit cards because they give me the most amount of points. Okay. I do have business credit cards, but they don't give me as many points. The key is IRS doesn't care whose name it's in. The key is that you don't put personal expenses on the credit card. You don't commingle. So if you have a personal card, it's either 100% personal or 100% business transaction. Do not commingle them, one or the other. Can you switch it over later? So if it was personal through some of the year and then you switch it to business, yes. But in 1 month, do not commingle that stuff. Because if you get audited and it's like, well, what's this? Oh, that's personal. Well, what's this? Oh, that's personal. What's this? That's business. Are you sure it's business? Well, yeah, it's business. I told you this. The IRS auditors don't like that. Second least educated on tax law, IRS auditors. You do not want to get audited in using personal cards and business and commingling them because you break the corporate veil. So don't do that. Okay. Matthew says, you're awesome, by the way. Your company's got me double-digit deletion in less than 60 days. I love it. I love that. Hey, will you do me a favor? Huge solid, please. This would help me out tremendously, Matthew. Go to Google and go to Yelp and leave me a review exactly what you just said. Please. I thank you so much for that. And let me know when you do that. I got something for you. I will send it your way. After you do that, let me know. Ashley says, yes, I'd love to come meet the States and meet you. Going to steakhouse. That's right. Oh, I can't believe, I didn't know that. Oh, I should know. Again, this is my ignorance. I'm okay with admitting when I'm ignorant about stuff. I did not know that beef is banned in India. I should know that. I know you guys don't eat cows, but I didn't know it was banned. I figure there's some areas you can get beef. I'll take you a place. If we go to Vegas, Florida, Atlanta. I'm going to be in Chicago in next week, going to a very famous steakhouse. So I'm looking forward to that. Joseph from YouTube says, South Dakota resident here. That's awesome. Love your knowledge. Share. Much appreciated. A couple rounds of happy hour on me. Sign me up after 75 hard. I on day, what freaking day am I on? I'm on day 17. So in 59 days, take you up on that. I have a 660 FICO across all 3 bureaus, no collections, no charge-offs, anything. Just got my third credit card in the mail. Standard on 10%, no auto loan, no mortgage. I have to do self-lender app. What should I do next? Keep your utilization rate below 5%. If you can get a installment loan, a credit builder loan at your credit union for 4 years, highly recommend it. So if you can do that, that would be your next step. Keep it at 5% and go get a 4-year loan from your credit union or local bank. Here's how this works. You go to the bank. Banker, I need to build my credit. Here's $5,000. I will give you $5,000 if you, banker, will give me a $5,000 loan. Here's $5,000 in collateral. If you don't have collateral, use a car. What do you think the bank will say if you say, I will give you $5,000 if you give me a $5,000 loan? Every bank on the planet, well, I should say, every bank in America will say, okay. Why? Because they're able to loan out now 10 to 60 times. If it's a small regional bank and you give them $5,000, they now can loan out $300,000 at 30% interest. So now they're making $90,000 a year in interest off of your $5,000 deposit. So they'll loan you the $5,000 for 10% interest. Okay. So you go to the bank. I want a $5,000 loan. Here's $5,000. They give it to you for 4 years, 10% interest. And you're like, well, now I'm paying interest. Now I'm in debt. The following month, you're going to write them a check for $4,900. $4,900. You're going to send it in. Now, how much do you owe on this $5,000 loan? $100, 10% interest. It's going to cost you about $7 a year first year, and then about $5 second year, $3, etc. So it's going to cost you over 4 years about $20 total in interest. This will work every single time as long as you're not on automatic payment. And do not tell the bank you're going to do this. So you give them $5,000, they give you a loan for $5,000. You wait a month, you pay it down to $4,900. You pay, write a check for $4,900, pay it down to $100, pay interest on the $100, make a payment of $2, $3 a month for the next 4 years. That will skyrocket your credit. And in the meantime, no more than 5% on the credit card. Again, think the tank of gas. As long as you're not applying for credit, doesn't matter what your score is. As soon as you pay off the credit card, the score goes up. Yesenia, thank you so much. Yesenia, do me a huge favor. Go to Yelp and Google and say that exact word right there. Please copy and paste it. And just go there, 5-star review. I'd love you for it. I'll send you a nice little gift when you do that. You let me know you did it. Okay. Thank you, Matthew. I see you on there. Got you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Yesenia. All right. Edwin says elk. Yeah, elk is my favorite red meat. In fact, I'm going to get me one this year. I didn't get one last year. I'm going to get me one this year. All right, guys. I need to go get me some dinner. So appreciate you guys. We'll talk later.